Hey sis, long time no see. How have you been? Hey Sarah, no kidding, it's been ages. I'm doing great, thanks. How about you? I haven't seen you since the wedding last year. I'm doing well too. You haven't been home at all lately. Is everything all right? You busy? Busy doesn't even begin to cover it. To tell you the truth, I'm swamped. I'm grateful to have a job, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little sleep deprived. Oh, so it's work keeping you away. What was your job again? Interior coordinator? That's right. You did well to remember that. Don't give me too much credit. I only remember the name. I'd be stumped if you asked me to tell you what it is you actually do. I can't hold that against you. To put it simply, I make the inside of houses look nice. I guess you could call me a room designer. Ah, a designer? I see. You always were the coolest, big sister. You really think so? Absolutely. I always feel like you're at least 10 steps ahead of me. It's always super exciting to hear about what you've been up to every time we catch up. I guess it's only natural when I was born 10 years earlier than you. It's not just your age. How to put this? I feel like you achieve things that I could never even dream of. That's not true at all, Sarah. You became independent really early on, too. Most people move out of their parents' places when they go to college, but you left at 15 when you went to boarding school. To be honest, I'd wanted to leave home ever since middle school. I was always a strong-willed little brat. Me and Mom were constantly locking horns. Home just wasn't a pleasant place for me to be. I guess things with our family have always been a little complicated. Both of our parents were divorcees when they met. Then there's the fact of us having different dads. Maybe so, but it doesn't bother me. Whether we have different dads or not, you'll always be my little sister. I just chalk it down to going through puberty and having my rebellious phase earlier than most. I don't think I did anything special. Still, it takes a heck of a lot of bravery to leave home all on your own at that age. I would have never been ballsy enough to live away from Mom and Dad at 15. I mean, just look at me. I still live at home with them now. You saved all the money to put yourself through high school, college, and technical school by yourself, right? And all while paying for your own living costs. I've always enjoyed working. My job back then was no different. On the flip side, my studies during high school took a major hit because I flunked so many classes to work overtime. I guess it just goes to show that it's true when people say your grades in high school don't matter. You're living proof of it. You're probably way more successful than everyone who attended all the classes. You really are an inspiration, sis. I can't believe you married an architect, too. Your house is one of the coolest buildings I've ever seen. You really think so? You know, you're always welcome to come over. We have a guest room, so you can even stay over if you like. Me and Arminius would love to have you. Thanks, sis. I'd love to, but you live so far away, I'd have to book a flight. That's true. Oh, my bad. You're scared of heights, right? Come to think of it, aren't our entire family, except for me, afraid of high places? Yep. Planes terrify me. I don't think I could bring myself to get on one. Sorry. They're not that bad, really. They fly at such altitudes that you lose all sense of height. You lose all conception of how high up you are after you take off. Really? Still, I wouldn't be able to afford a ticket right now. There are a bunch of discount airlines these days. Depending on the time of year, flying can be cheaper than driving. Maybe so, but I really don't have any money. But there is something I've had my eye on for a while. It's a piece of beauty equipment, but it costs nearly $800. You're still working, right? Yeah. I found a job as soon as I got out of high school. How much are you taking home every month, if you don't mind me asking? About 1,200, I think? Ah, I see. 800 for a piece of beauty equipment would definitely sting a little. Right? Which brings me to my next question. You know how I think you're the best big sister in the whole wide world? Would you lend me some money, please? Pretty please, with a cherry on top. $800? Yes, please. Mom and Dad would lose their rag with me if I asked them. You're the only person I can rely on. Am I asking too much? Okay, whatever. I guess it wouldn't hurt. But only 800, no more. Yay! Thanks, sis. You really are the best. I love you. I'm pleased to hear you're happy. But seriously, watch your spending after this, okay? You should really be trying to save some money away for a rainy day. Sure, I'll bear that in mind. Thanks so much, Lila. I mean it. Lila, I'm so sorry to have to ask you this again. Can you lend me some more money this month? Again? Seriously? What is it for this time? There are, a few things I have to buy. Can't you buy them with your own money? My salary just doesn't cover it. Don't you have any savings? Not even a cent. But you've been working full-time for over 2 years now. You really don't have a single cent? Where does all your money go? I'm living from paycheck to paycheck. Things are really tight for me. You're an adult now, Sarah. You need to start managing your finances properly. You'll be in big trouble one day if there's some kind of emergency and you don't have any money to keep yourself afloat. What if you fell ill all of a sudden and couldn't work anymore? You might think things are fine and dandy right now, but you never know what life's got in store for you. A wise man once said, "Save money, and money will save you." I know that. Believe me, I'd love to start saving more than anything, but things are just too difficult right now. Really? I see. Well, what do you need money for this time? Why, hello there, Lila. It's been a while. It's me, your mother. Huh? Mom? No kidding, it's been ages. You must be sick and tired of Sarah by now. She seems to do nothing but waste money on useless junk these days. I know she's young, and I get it's normal to want to let loose and enjoy life at that age, but still. I just lent her $800 last month. She tells me her salary's pretty low, but I was still surprised to hear she doesn't have any savings despite living at home. I mean, it's literally never easier to save money than when you live with your parents. I don't understand how she's not putting anything aside despite the fact her outgoings should be next to nothing. I wonder if maybe you should speak to her. Maybe you can knock some sense into her and make her reevaluate her spending habits. Believe me, Lila, me and your father have tried talking to her countless times, but it just goes in one ear and out the other. We may as well be talking to a brick wall. We hardly ever had to tell you anything. You always seem to have your head firmly screwed on ever since you were young. How did she end up being so wasteful? Right, I'm kind of worried about her future. You wouldn't happen to know if she's been going into debt, would you? I don't think she's in debt right now. But it wouldn't surprise me if she did one day to maintain her exorbitant spending habits. It's one thing borrowing from your sister, and another borrowing from professional organizations who have a legal mandate to destroy your life if you don't pay them back. Borrowing from family is probably the lesser of two evils. I think you should help her out this time. What do you say? It's not like I don't see your point, Mom, but still. She said there's something she really wants to buy this month. What's she so desperate to buy? She said she wants to update her phone. Apparently the Peeps Phone 15 just came out. I wouldn't know the first thing about all this technology business, but she seems obsessed. That said, I'm clued in enough to know that phones cost an arm and a leg these days. She said she wants the Peeps Phone 15 Pro. Do you know how much it is? Jesus, why does she have to go and pick the most expensive thing on the damn market? I'm pretty sure they're going for $999 right now. I see. She said you can pay in monthly installments, but she insists on paying it all at once and getting it over and done with. Right, those monthly payments have interest. They're essentially a form of debt. So it's not like I don't understand where she's coming from. So what do you say, dear? Even if you don't lend her the full amount, do you think you could find it in your heart to toss a little of the green stuff your sister's way? What's family for if not being there for each other in times of need? Gah, I guess it can't be helped. How much does she want? She said 500 would be fine. Got it. Thanks. It's no wonder she loves her big sister so much. You're so kind, Lila. Make no mistake, though, Mom, I have no intention of letting her ride the gravy train on my dime forever. Can you put Sarah on for me? Thanks so much, sis. You're the best. I'm so grateful. Sarah, I'll lend you money this one last time, but this is getting silly now. Please do something about your spending habits. I hope you didn't forget about the money you already owe me. Of course I didn't, sis. You'll get every cent of it back as soon as I can afford it. Thanks again. I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but... Sis, can you lend me $50? Excuse me? This again? This is 3 months in a row now. I'm really sorry. I'm begging you, please. How many times do I have to tell you? You need to get your spending under control. What do you need the money for this time? Some things. Some things? Not good enough. At least tell me what you'll be spending my money on. There are a few things I need to buy. So explain to me what those few things are. Go on, I'm listening. I'm not lending you a cent if you won't tell me what it's for. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. But I'm going to be in serious trouble if you don't lend it to me. How? Why? What kind of trouble? Please, all I'm asking for is $50 this month. This isn't about the amount. I just want you to tell me what exactly you're so desperate to spend my money on. Lila, I'm sorry. It's not that I'm not willing to lend you the money, Sarah. I just need you to work with me and explain what's going on that you're in such dire straits all the time. You're going to be asking me for money every month for the rest of our lives at this rate. I have to be honest, the reasons you've been giving me so far, beauty equipment, a new phone, I don't think these are the kind of things you should be going into debt to buy. How about reevaluating your spending habits so you don't constantly have to pester me for money and end up stuck in a perpetual borrowing cycle? This will be the last time, I swear. Put yourself in my shoes, Sarah. How am I supposed to take your word on that? Seems more likely to me that you'll use this $50 to get yourself out of whatever pinch you're in this time before coming back for more next month. Tell me why you don't have enough money. You'll never get anywhere unless you fix the underlying problem. I can't fix it on my own. Then let me be there for you. I'll help you to the best of my ability. I just want you to tell me what's going on. You'll help me? Really? If you're going through hard times, then let's work together to fix whatever the problem is so you can come out of the other end without being in mountains of debt. I'm really proud of you for working so hard and making your own money. If we can just make some adjustments to your spending habits, you'll be unstoppable. Do you mean it, Lila? Would you really help me? Even though you left home so long ago? I thought you didn't want to get wrapped up in family problems anymore. Things are different when my little sister's in trouble. I care about you a lot more than you know. You were always the brighter, bubblier, more carefree sister. You have this warm, dynamic energy about you that I really admire. You're the most genuine person I know. How could I not love you to bits? Listen, the reason I want you to lend me the money this time is because I can't afford my lunch this month. You can't afford your lunch? You mean it's not for some new gadget or beauty product? Nope. The truth is, things are so tight that I don't even have the luxury of wasting money. But what about last month and the month before? I lied about wanting the phone and the beauty equipment. I just told you what Mom told me to. She told me I had to borrow money from you, so I came up with what I thought sounded like believable reasons. It was Mom and Dad who needed the money all along. Wait, what? Mom and Dad? What do you mean? I've been handing my entire salary over to Mom ever since I changed jobs. Of course I have to cover my living costs, but on top of that, I have to cover theirs too. Not to mention the crazy amounts they spend on wine and beer. Then there's their daily outings to the casino. Is this some kind of joke? I can't even begin to make sense of this. What the hell? Mom and Dad have been unemployed for a long time now. They live on my salary without lifting a finger. How could they, those shameless parasites? I really wanted to go to college instead of finding work straight out of high school. But they banned me from applying and forced me to spend 3 hours a day job hunting. Then when I did find a job, they started confiscating my entire salary. They said it was for my own good because I don't know anything about budgeting. I don't even know what I'm living for anymore. It's like I stopped being a human being and turned into an ATM. Oh my God, I can't believe what they're doing to you. Why didn't you tell me what was going on earlier? I could have helped you. I didn't think you were interested in family stuff. I thought you hated us all. I see. I guess I understand why you thought that, given everything I did, but I promise you that wasn't why I left. To tell you the truth, I always felt like the black sheep of the family. They always seemed to dote on you so much, but I barely got a look in. I had this unshakable feeling that I wasn't wanted at home, and that the sooner I left, the happier you'd all be. That's why I left at 15. Maybe it looked like that to you, but believe me, I've never felt like Mom and Dad loved me. Surely you get that now you know what they're putting me through. I'm nothing more than their personal ATM. I see. It looks like I made a huge misunderstanding. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm so sorry I let you go through all this alone. But don't worry, I'm here to help you now. What should I do, Lila? I feel so lost. Even if I left the house, it's not like I have any money to support myself or anywhere else to go. I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle of endless suffering at the hands of their insatiable greed. But at the same time, I don't have the courage to leave, so I just keep tolerating it. What am I even doing? Waiting for a miracle? My life is such a mess. I understand how you feel. The reason I moved out when I did was because I was terrified of becoming like that. I figured that taking a leap of faith and making a go of my life on my own, even if it meant taking a huge risk, was preferable to letting them get their grubby mitts on any money I might end up making in future. You don't have to worry anymore. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to get you out of there. You'll never be on your own, Sarah. I'll always be here to help you. I want to be like you, Lila. I want to be strong enough to make it on my own like you do. All right, sis. Sit tight and leave this to me. Sarah, what's this note all about? You're leaving? Explain yourself at once, young lady. There's nothing to explain. It's just like it says on the note. I'm moving out. I can't take any more of your exploitation. Exploitation? Don't be ridiculous. What the devil are you talking about? You've always lived at home with me and your father. Do you seriously think you have what it takes to make it on your own in the big wide world? Don't make me laugh. You wouldn't know the first thing about finding a place to live, budgeting, paying bills. You'd be hopeless. You're not like Lila. Just because she made it doesn't mean you can. She's helping me get away from you. I got on a plane and went straight to Nebraska. I'm staying with her in her apartment now. Am I reading this properly? Oh my God, you fool! How could you be so arrogant, so selfish? What about your job? I already handed in my resignation. Goodness gracious me, what a waste. Surely you don't actually think there are any companies out there who'd hire a wet-behind-the-ears high school graduate like you? You're in for a rude awakening when you realize how cruel and unforgiving life away from your parents actually is. Yeah, you can give it a rest now. I've heard it a million times before. It's precisely because you always gave me your spiel about how dreadful the world is that I was never brave enough to take that leap of faith and fly the nest. You were intentionally trying to scare me into staying at home with you forever, weren't you? I know your game now. I'm done with you. I left home and I am never coming back. You listen to me, and you listen to me good, young lady. You do not have what it takes to be like your big sister. She might be cocky, but at least she had the brains and ambition to back it up. You're nothing like her. You're as mediocre as a loaf of bread. You'll never make a success of yourself like Lila did, so you may as well just give up before you get hurt. Talking about me, are you, Mom? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm nothing special. Lila? Yes. I'd been desperate to leave home for a long, long time by the time I finally managed to get into that boarding school at 15. I worked with every fiber of my being to prove that I had what it took to make it on my own in the world. Intense emotions change people. Just like the change Sarah's going through right now. So you stole her from us, did you? Give her back now! Sarah's a fully grown adult. She's more than capable of deciding how to live her own life. You won't be treating her like your personal ATM for a second longer. You and Dad will have to figure out a way to make it on your own 2 feet from now on. Personal ATM? I don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Don't play dumb with me. I know all about you and Dad stealing Sarah's entire salary ever since she landed that new job. You're not going to be able to leech off the fruits of her hard work anymore. Rather than wasting your time trying to bring her back in vain, you and Dad would be better off getting serious about trying to find jobs of your own. You ungrateful little dipshit. You know full well me and your father won't be able to get by without Sarah. How could you steal her from us despite knowing how much we'll suffer? I didn't steal anything. It's precisely because you treat her like some object to be tossed around instead of a human being that she never wants to see you again. All I did was respect her wishes and help her. I take it this means you are prepared to take responsibility for her from now on? She knows nothing of the world outside this house. She'll never make it without the support of me and her father. You seem to be forgetting that I myself have my fair share of experience of the world outside of that house. I have plenty of connections, and money is no issue. I'll be here for Sarah and give her whatever support she needs until she's able to make it on her own. I can even find her work. In any case, whatever happens will be a damn sight better than the life that awaited her at the hands of her parasitic parents. Oh, this is rich. Look at you playing the model big sister all of a sudden. You seem to be forgetting that you abandoned her when she was 5 to escape your family responsibilities and live the easy life. Isn't it a little late to start playing the saint, you filthy hypocrite? That's exactly why I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be there for her now. Everything I couldn't do for her growing up, I'll do for her 10 times over this time. Because this time, she needs me more than ever. What's gotten into you? Did you have some kind of religious epiphany and decide you suddenly care about your sister? If you loved her that much, you never would have abandoned her in the first place. The only reason I was so rebellious growing up is because I thought you and Dad didn't love me. I thought Sarah was the only one you loved. But it turns out I was totally wrong. Because you didn't love either of us. You only saw us as tools to get what you wanted. Do not speak to your mother like that, you insolent little upstart. There will be hell to pay for this. My mother? Don't make me laugh. I haven't thought of you as my mom for years. Your reign of terror ends here. I'll see to it that you never upset Sarah again. Oh, is that so? Well, it just so happens that I don't think of you as my daughter anymore either. You became a stranger the moment you decided to abandon us all those years ago. Now, why does a stranger think she has the right to stick her nose into my family's business? Give Sarah back now. No chance. I'm going to give her all the help she needs. What's family for if not being there for each other in times of need? You said that, right? I'm going to take your advice and see to it that she has all the help she needs to get on in life. Free from the clutches of her conniving, money-grubbing parents. I let Sarah stay in the spare room of my apartment for a few months after that. Then, after making a few phone calls and calling in some favors, I got her a job as a receptionist at my friend's architecture company. After working hard to save up some money, which she was finally able to keep to herself, she had enough to move out of my apartment and became fully independent. Her new place was a shared house operated by one of my friends. That kind of setup's not for everyone, but Sarah's bright, outgoing personality made her a perfect fit for communal life. And she tells me she and her housemates get on like a house on fire. My sister developed an interest in interior design and furniture while living with me in my apartment. To my surprise, she says she wants to get a job in a related industry one day. As a veteran of the field, I'm always giving her advice. And I can tell from how passionate she gets when asking me questions that she has a bright future ahead of her. I don't know what happened to our mom and dad after that. I'm pretty certain that they must have struggled to get by, though. I've got my hands full right now with helping give Sarah the start in professional life that she needs. So I don't even have time to think about our parents. But even if I did, something tells me I wouldn't be rushing out to help them. What would you do if your parents did what ours did? Let us know.